Good morning. My name is Tanae Traylor, Fund Advisor at the Candida Fund. As a co-founder and chair of the Board of Directors for the Atlanta Wealth Building Initiative, I am honored to welcome you this morning to our inaugural Community Wealth Building Forum. In 2017, the Candida Fund and the Annie E. Casey Foundation Atlanta Civic Site, came together to respond to what we were hearing from our grantee partners, practitioners in the field, political leaders, and community leaders. We heard that Atlanta was ranked as one of the highest cities for income inequality in America. As funders, Dr. Janelle Williams and I at the time heard the need to respond. As Black leaders in this sector, we had an obligation to move to action. Together, we commissioned a report led by Prosperity Now titled Advancing Collective Prosperity Through Entrepreneurship in Atlanta. That report, developed in partnership with those same trusted voices from the community, helped us understand and showcase the opportunities and challenges for growing economic opportunity in Atlanta, specifically for our Black business owners. One data point that really stuck out for us is that 96% of our Black businesses in the city were sole proprietorships, sole entrepreneurs with limited to no employees. On top of that, there was an 11x difference between Black business value and white-owned business value in the city of Atlanta. The report also provided a set of recommendations, including creating a hub to tackle the issues of economic inequality with our practitioners and community partners. And from there, the Atlanta Wealth Building Initiative was launched. AWBI seeks to reimagine economic realities in communities of color through community wealth building strategies that powerfully leverage ideas, people, and capital. With an initial focus on entrepreneurship as a pathway to building wealth, AWBI creates sustainable economic opportunity and wealth building opportunities for Black people and people of color in Atlanta and across the South. AWBI is here to have a different type of conversation about economic inclusion. We are going to challenge your thinking. We are approaching public and private leaders that we love and care about and ask them to think about the way they do their work differently. We're pushing a conversation that hasn't been had in Atlanta. AWBI is here to be a place where we can activate voices and capital to eliminate racial wealth disparity and exemplify what economic inclusion can look like in this city. The focus on Black entrepreneurship is vital. We are starting with entrepreneurship because it is the avenue that we know built this great city. We know that it works, and we know people can immediately get engaged in that conversation. But we know it takes more than that to close the racial wealth gap. We need to be looking at policy change. We're going to be looking at land acquisitions. We're going to be looking at ecological resilience. We need to be looking at community stability. We are looking at a variety of factors to help us close this racial wealth gap. We also have to work with the unconvinced to help shift their perspective about the role they play in solving for inequity in our city and in our country. And I'm hoping that we will begin to embrace innovation and disruption, things that we haven't thought of yet to advance economic liberation and close the gap. All right, I know it's ambitious, but we have no time for incremental thinking. I know it feels big, huge leap, and we know it's time for us to wrap our arms around this conversation in a new way. But that's what we're here to do. We really hope to have to shepherd a conversation, inspire action that we've never had before, collaborating with partners in new and true ways to make this work happen. And so for us, it's about a new narrative. It's about tackling both the opportunity to close the racial wealth gap but it's also about transforming our divested and underinvested communities to thriving centers for shared prosperity. It's about working alongside our anchor institutions, our hospitals, and our universities, and all those other organizations to let them know that we want a new way to be responsive and advance a new economy for all. We can do better. We can prioritize a just and equitable economy without it being a zero-sum outcome. Today's forum, today's conversation will help us move the dial and recenter. We will explore root causes of our racial wealth inequality, but we'll also talk about solutions. It's time to reimagine wealth in our Black communities. It's time to change the narrative and empower people and businesses with the tools needed to gain access to capital and achieve financial success. We can change the rules. The current rules aren't working for us. It's time to create an infrastructure that supports an inclusive economy and shared prosperity for all. On behalf of AWBI's Board of Directors, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 Community Wealth Building Forum, a new normal for shared prosperity.